joined today by Carly Niro from Panther Women's Lacrosse. Carly, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your major. What made you choose it?
Well, coming in, I always kind of knew I wasn't going to be a STEM girl, and I met halfway in the middle by doing forensic psych. Everyone kind of in that major always says the criminal law shows and the Law and Order and all that is what gets them in. And that's the same thing with me. It just like dragged me in since I was a kid. I've always loved watching that. So kind of like always interests me. And then when I got recruited here and I saw that that was a major, I definitely just wanted to pursue that.
Now there's obviously a lot of different paths that can lead you for a career. What do you want to do with your degree?
Right now I'm not sure, but this past year I started minoring in the CAS program, which is Child Advocacy. So I definitely want to work with children. Taking a lot of courses this year, like clinical forensic psychology, that would definitely like help me kind of figure out exactly what I want to do. But I know I want to work with children, or when they plead insanity, like when adults plead insanity, I'd be the one that like would see if they're actually insane.
Now there's obviously a lot of choices that you can go to for schools like that, and obviously being a great lacrosse player yourself, I'm sure you had options coming out of high school, but what was it about Florida Tech that made you want to come here?
It's actually really funny. Originally, like, once I realized I wanted to play, I wanted to get out of Florida. I did not want to be here. I wanted to experience like the weather and the seasons and getting away from my family. And once I got closer to senior year and like life started to get real, I did not want to leave Florida. The weather was just not something I like to experience. I love the sun, and I'm far enough to where my parents cannot come see me every day, and I can't go home, but I am close enough to where I can just drive home if need be.
It's an interesting way to put it. What's something you've learned during your time here at Florida Tech about your major that was eye-opening, or maybe you didn't know about before?
It's so much harder than people make it out to be. It's doable and it's not impossible, but just because it's not STEM does not mean that you will not be putting in just as much time. So that was definitely a big eye-opener. Just because I didn't think I was right for STEM, like I still was able to apply myself and push, so it really helped.
I know we have a few other forensic psychology majors across our sports here at Florida Tech. Have you met up with any of them? Are they someone that you go to like, hey, I got this project, or I've got a question about this? Do you have study buddies, so to speak?
Yeah, so forensic psych is a pretty small major, and we're relatively all girls, so I have a lot of volleyball, swim, sometimes I'll have a few softball here and there. So yeah, we definitely connect, and I'll always have a class with them. So I usually, since freshman year, I've had classes with the exact same people. So it's definitely a lot of help, especially when we're on the same schedule, whether we're in fall or spring, so helps a lot. I definitely go with them.
So for you, what are some things that you need to get the most out of your study time? Do you need to be on your own, or do you go to the third floor of the library? We get that a lot. Do you need a certain playlist? What works for you?
I have this really nice setup in my room that a friend had set up for me, like a monitor. I have 2 monitors, so I have to be in my room at my desk to study, and definitely taking breaks, like taking a study break, because sitting there for hours on a screen, especially when you have 3 of them in front of you, doesn't help. So like going down, talking to my roommates for like 2-3 minutes, and then going back up, or literally just like sitting outside, like anything to just get away. I have to be able to just get up and walk away, so usually I'll do it in my room.
That's a smart way to do it. You don't want to fry your brains. How has being a college athlete prepared you for what you want to do? And do you feel like there's lessons that lacrosse has taught you that help you when it's an exam season or you've got a big project?
100%. Time management, I'm sure everyone's going to say that's the biggest thing you learn being a student athlete, especially at this school, because and every school, academics comes first, but we really do not play around here with our academics and our major. And also just no excuses. Like you can't use excuses on the field, and it correlates into real life. Like no one's taking those excuses, and you have to leave everything you have. So.
And we'll wrap up with this. What advice would you give to an athlete coming to Florida Tech that might want to get into forensic psychology?
As I mentioned earlier, just because you're not STEM does not mean you are not doing as much, or you're not applying yourself 100%. Our major is, I'm not gonna say it's just as hard, it's very hard, it's just different aspects. So definitely don't second guess yourself and think that you're not as smart as everyone else around you, because you definitely are.
Those are some great words to hear. Carly, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.